Hi everyone. I'm gonna record this class because nobody came as an attendant, as a participant, which is fine. I realized that no, I posted on Tuesday. That should have been enough time, but I was a couple minutes late because I was having some trouble. My son, he is homesick. My son is homesick, and I am sitting here with him. He is watching YouTube in the background. So if you hear voices, that's what it is. It's not any kind of me, breaking into my house or anything. I am going to go over some final procedures. Unfortunately, I had to leave school pretty quickly to pick my son up, so I do not have my actual charger for my laptop, and it died by the time I got home. Therefore, I am recording on my phone, so I hope the quality is okay. And unfortunately, like I said, I do not have my computer open, so I do not have any of the correct dates. I am doing my best to remember what they were, but please make sure that you are checking the homepage of the GAVS course in order to get correct dates for things like when grades are released and so forth. All right, I'm going to put my face away and then we're going to begin with the information. So some of you are going to take final exams, but it's only going to be some of you. Each year, I usually have only a handful of kiddos per semester that take the final exam because it is only necessary for homeschool students to take the final exam. If you're either a private school student, like you go to a private school that is not a public school and you take this course in addition to what you were doing in school, or if you're a homeschool student, those are the only students that are going to take the final exam. This is the case for both the B and the AB course. Everyone else, if you are a public school student, if you are a hospital homebound student, if you are a public school student working virtually this year, if you report to a public school for your grades, you are a public school student and you will take the EOCT. Okay. So that is most students in both the B and the AB course. If you took the A course last semester and now you're taking the B course, you have to take the EOCT now because you're done. You're finished the course. Okay. So I do know that there are a couple students I had both in the A and the AB course, and that both in the A and the B course that are going to have to take the EOCT now that they are finished with the whole course. All final exams must be taken on Wednesday, May 7th. I'm sorry, Wednesday, May 5th and Thursday, May 6th. Like I said, my laptop, I was not able to change dates in time, unfortunately. So I'm trying to just make sure you're listening to the words that come out of my mouth. Not the 9th and the 10th, it's the 5th and the 6th. Um, I hope that's correct. I do believe that's correct. I'm pretty sure it's the 5th and the 6th. I don't have enough battery to check. Give me a second. Let's go on a little wander here. Gonna figure this out. I'm trying to get this on my phone, which isn't particularly easy, but I will do it just for you. Nope, that's the summer class. Pace plans, almost there. That's the summer. I was right. Aren't I amazing? Aren't I amazing? I was right. Okay. So the final exam is May 5th and May 6th, and the course locks on May 7th. Okay. It locks at midnight on May 7th. And if you haven't finished your final exam by then, you're toast. You're done. Okay. That's why we assign it for May 5th and 6th, and then we expect you to be done with it by the 6th. On the 7th, if you haven't finished your final exam by then, you will be getting a call from me. Okay. And I'll make sure that you take it. And that's only for the few of you that are going to take the final exam. For the final exam, once you enter the exam, you have to finish the entire exam until the time is up, and it's 90 minutes. I don't accept reset the exam, so make sure that you give yourself enough time. Do not wait until Friday, May 7th at 11 p.m. to get started on the exam. You won't have enough time, especially if you have an IEP or a 504 that it gives you extended time on a test. If you have a special accommodation that gives you extended time on the test, you will not finish it on time if you wait until 11 p.m. on Friday night to start. Okay. So be careful with that. Right click is disabled and that helps and discourage cheating. Grades will be available. Typically, they're made available the Tuesday or Wednesday after the course closes. I apologize, I don't have the date right off the top of my head on what that is. Make sure you check the homepage of the GAV's homepage. If you take the final exam, you will have a definite grade by that point, unless you have an extended semester, which I have not seen any applications for that this semester. If you have to take the EOCT, however, your grade will be either marked as pending or incomplete. That doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. That just means that we may not have received your score yet, so we haven't calculated it yet. So remember that your course grade counts for 80% of the grade, and your final exam or your EOCT counts for 20% of the grade. So when we get that test, we calculate everything out, and then we give you a final grade. So when you take the EOCT, you take it at your school, they send it to get graded, they grade it, they send it back to your school, and then your school sends it to us. So there's a lot of transit for that grade before it gets to us. So sometimes it takes a little bit, but you will have a grade before the end. It doesn't usually take too long. Once we get it, it goes in within 24 hours. Do not email me requesting what your final grade is going to be, because there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that you don't know about. Calculations that happen. Maybe you have to go through and make sure that every single discussion post is graded, which is one of the most tedious and annoying tasks that I have to do. I There's a lot of things that I don't actually grade until after you leave the course, and I do that on purpose. I have a lot of reasons for that. Also, I'm not allowed to email you grades. That's a FERPA violation. That's a privacy violation. If you absolutely have to know your grade by a certain point, you've got to call me. And even then, I still may not tell you because I might not be done with it. So for the final exam, everyone gets 90 minutes to complete the objective portion of the exam. There are no written questions. Um, there shouldn't be any written questions. If there are, let me know, and I will make sure that I do not calculate at a part of you. I hopefully have the essay questions taken off of the exam. That was a problem that we had faced last semester, and I believe it got fixed. But if it did not get fixed, you need to let me know so that I go in and I'll just give you credit for that question. I don't expect you to write an entire essay. If it's just a little like fill in the blank question or a one sentence question, then that's fine. That can stay on there. But if it's one of those timed essays, then it should not still be on there. That should have been removed. The final exam and the EOCT are both 20% of your grade. And the final exam will have 60 questions. The questions will test your knowledge of the stories and grammar assignments that you have completed this semester. The exam chooses questions from previous quizzes and post tests, so make sure you study your old quizzes. So we have what's called a question bank. All of our tests draw from that question bank, um, depending on which module they're for. So for example, the modernism module will pull questions that are meant for the modernism module. Well, the final exam will pull a certain number of questions from each module. So maybe it'll pull 5 questions from modernism and 5 questions from postmodernism and 5 questions from the Huck Finn. Um, I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but somebody with a higher pay grade than me made that decision. But all of the questions on the final exam come from the same question bank. That means that you may have seen some of these questions before. So yes, That means that one of the best ways to study, one of, not the best, but one of the best ways to study for this final exam is to go back and reread all of the exams that you've taken so far. Now, you will only be allowed to see the questions that you got wrong. The questions that you got wrong on your previous module exams. And this is for test security. We don't want someone stealing the entire test or sharing it with students from other semesters. Um, so we only allow you to see the questions that you got wrong so that you can use them to do better and not make those mistakes again. So don't expect to go look and see the questions that you got right. They have to be hidden. Aside from reviewing old quizzes, go back and look at the module minutes from each unit. This will provide you with an overview of what you should have learned or covered in that module. Also, review the characteristics of the covered time periods. Complete self assessments throughout the modules, those practice exams, those practice tests that are in the modules, those are going to be helpful for you as well. If there's any content or stories that you skipped the first time around, you might want to make sure that you get those read because those questions might show up on the final. We're going to skip this because I don't teach speech anymore. All right, those of you that are public school students and are going to be taking the EOCT, you need to schedule the EOCT yourself. Georgia Virtual School does not schedule the EOCT for you because we are statewide and all of you are in different school districts. You've got to take care of that yourself. What you need to do is call your school to schedule your EOCT. Either your counselor or your facilitator can take care of that for you, but you have to schedule it with your school, not with us. You can also get the study guide online. All you have to do is Google Georgia EOCT American Literature test, and it'll give you an excellent study guide that goes along with that test. When you sign up for the test, if you do it in person at school, sometimes they give you a printed version of that. If not, it's an easy to find the PDF on Google. It's not hard to find. USA Test Prep is also an excellent resource to help you prepare, including practice tests. Registration information can be found in the news items. I'm sorry, not news items. It's going to be in the student resources section now. Is where we provide the information for you to sign up for USA Test Prep. I highly recommend you do sign up for USA Test Prep, whether you're taking the final exam or the EOCT, because you can take practice exams, especially for the EOCT, that are helpful. I use USA Test Prep right now with my sixth grade to help them prepare for Georgia milestones. So it's very useful. Each EOCT is composed of two sections, and students are given 60 minutes to complete each section. There is also a short stretch break, excuse me, between the two sections of the test. So you're allowed to stand up, use the bathroom, whatever. All the questions on the EOCT are multiple choice. Each section of the American Literature and Composition EOCT contains 40 questions. There are a total of 80 questions on the American Literature and Composition EOCT. The OCT, just like the final, is 20% of your grade. There will be informational and literary passages on the American literature and in composition EOCT. All the passages will either be pieces of American literature or pieces about American literature. Your EOCT score will be reported to GAVS and inputted into our system in order to generate your final course score. Please note, we add the grade as quickly as we get it, and we haven't posted the grade. We probably haven't received it yet. It does take us a little less than 24 hours to get the grade into the system and release your final course grade. So if you haven't gotten a course grade released from us, we probably simply haven't received it from your high school. So just be patient with that. We do not release your course grade at all until we calculate the final course grade, considering in your final exam and or your EOCT. So these are some things that you can do to help pull your grade up. I always have students ask this at the end of the year. Take a look at your grade book and make sure that every single thing that needs to be graded is graded. It's a lot easier to make sure that happens in Canvas, and I have missed a very few assignments with Canvas since we switched over to Canvas. In our old system, I missed assignments, unfortunately, because once I opened them and looked at them, they showed as red. And if I accidentally closed my browser, then I lost it and it still didn't show as red. So, but here in Canvas, it doesn't show up as completed until I mark it with a grade. So I don't miss assignments nearly as often as I used to. Um, so this may not, you may not turn anything up if you go over your grade book. The only thing that you might turn up that I didn't grade would be a discussion reply. I do try to go through that every so often. Like I said, it's the most tedious thing that I have to do when it comes to Canvas, because it does not notify me of reply posts, which is really annoying. So I literally have to go through every single discussion board and every single student in order to find their replies and then grade them for them. So it does take a little bit of time. If you find a reply that I definitely have not graded, go ahead and send me a message and let me know which discussion it was and that you replied, and I'll go in and make sure I take care of that. I just went over, I think it was the AB course completely, every single discussion. I think I did that on Tuesday. I did not do the B course yet, but I did every single discussion board in the AB course. So if you have posted a reply since then, just give me time, I'll get to them. Check that all assignments have a grade. Check that low test or squiz scores for typos or technical errors. There aren't as many of those anymore. There used to be more opportunity for typos and technical errors. Sometimes they get a question wrong and it's typed incorrectly. That's not much, doesn't happen much anymore in Canvas. The tests that are manually graded are, I look at them with my own eyeballs for those manual questions, so it doesn't really have much opportunity to get that wrong. But if you do find any kind of errors that you think that I missed something, be sure to let me know and I'll check on it for you and let you know if that's something that needs to be taken care of. Some other things that you can do to help boost your grade is to make sure that you've completed all your work. The last day to receive credit for certain assignments. Remember that every assignment can be turned in up to 10 days late for credit. Well, technically, that's 9 days late for credit because then you could still get a 10% on it. The 10% is better than a zero. So, I mean, honestly, turn in everything. Don't miss anything. If it's more than 10 days late, then obviously that's something that you don't want to stress yourself on. But if it's less than 10 days late, even if it's going to be 5 days late, a 50 is better than nothing. I know that doesn't make much sense, but you would be very surprised the difference that even adding a 50, putting in a 50 instead of a zero, you would be floored at the difference it makes. All right, here's an extra learning opportunity for those of you that need to take the EOCT. This is the extra credit that you probably are watching this recording for. You need to watch this recording. I will give you the name of the YouTube channel that my son was watching in the background. And then that's your keyword to tell me for sure that you listened to this recording. And then you need to go and sign up for USA Test Prep and take a full-length practice exam. American Literature EOCT Georgia practice exam. Full length, not a halfsies. I will not do this, will not work for a halfsies. I want you to practice. I want you to practice. You can take it as many times as you want to. And then send me, upload a picture of your final score that you're happy with. There is an ELO Dropbox in the grade book. There is an ELO semester wrap-up Dropbox that you can upload that picture or screenshot. It has to be a picture or screenshot, and I need to see your name. Okay? I need to see your name on that USA Test Prep and the score. I will go in and I will replace your lowest test grade with your practice test grade, even if it was a zero and you missed it. So, for example, if you missed the postmodernism test, you skipped it for one reason or another, and you get a 89 on that EOCT practice, I'll replace that zero with an 89. And that will definitely boost your grade. Promise. So I have students that take advantage of this every single semester. It is a really great opportunity because it does two things. It's going to help you do better on the EOCT because you're going to be familiar with how the EOCT questions are worded. USA Test Prep is excellent at giving you questions that are very similar to the questions that you would see on milestones, EOCTs, AP exams, all that kind of stuff. So if you get that done, you will have some practice and some confidence going into that EOCT, and you will also get a test grade replaced in your course that will help you out with your grade. Okay. So it's magical. I will give you the name of the YouTube channel near the end. I will not do it now. Um, so that I want you to listen to this whole thing. This is the information here. I will also post this in the announcements. This needs to be turned in not by May 11th, but by May 7th. Ignore that date. That's from last year. Like I said, I couldn't change my slides because my computer died. May 7th. You must turn this in before the course closes. You must turn this in before the course closes. The only way you would be able to turn it into me outside of course is with very special permission. Okay, so the Georgia school ID, our school ID for USA Test Prep is GA Virtual, and the activation code is Newton 88. I do believe that N has to be capitalized, but before you email me saying the password didn't work, try it lowercase. I honestly cannot remember if it's uppercase or lowercase. Please try it both ways before you email me. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Once you complete your test, click on Grade and Submit. They will provide you with a results page. Take a screenshot of your result and upload your document to the Georgia Milestone Test Dropbox. It's called the Wrap Up Semester something something, ELO. Make sure that gets turned in by May 7th. All right. So this is a great opportunity. Like I said, you can retake it as many times as you want to, but I absolutely have to see a grade, a percentage, and your name in that picture, or else I will not grade it. Okay. So if all I see is unknown student or whatever on there, or someone's name that isn't yours, you're not getting credit for it because I don't want you to just Google an image. It has to be yours. All right. If you are not taking the EOCT, instead you are taking the final exam, you need to watch this recording, provide the name of this YouTube channel my son was watching for that keyword, and then you get to choose any test in the course to try again. So if it was a 0, I will give you full credit for it if you go back and take it. You need to message or email me the name of the show and your test choice, and I will add a second attempt. Okay, so I will add a second attempt if you already took it, and if you missed it, I'll give it full credit. Okay, so those of you that are turning in the EOCT, you need to put the keyword in the notes of the assignment when you turn in that assignment. And those of you that are going to do the test reset, or the second chance on a test, or a full credit for a missed test, you need to give me the keyword in either an email or an in-course message or a text or whatever. And then I will make sure that I give you full credit on that retake. If you already took it, I need to add a second attempt. So don't expect to just go in there and take a new one. I have to actually add a second attempt manually. So it is best to text me with that because I don't receive course messages on my phone, and you're going to want to do that early enough so that, don't wait until like 10 o'clock on Friday night, May 7th, before the course closes. I will probably be sleeping. Okay, I am exhausted now that we're in the final weeks of school. All right, in order to take advantage of the extra learning opportunities, I highly recommend and suggest that you have all of your coursework completed, because extra credit isn't going to help you very much if you are missing coursework. Okay. Here's some do's and don'ts for the end of the semester. Do not email me for your course grade or exam grade. I will not reply with the information you're looking for, and I won't reply, and I can't reply. I cannot via FERPA. I'm also not supposed to release the grades before their official release date. Instead, use your time to prepare for your EOCT, to prepare for your final exam. Do not email me to ask me when I will finish grading stuff. Okay? Instead, understand that I am working as quickly as I can. Okay. And again, there are some assignments that I intentionally do not grade until you exit the course. I will not grade and release your final exam score until the course is through because you're not allowed to retake it. Okay. So if, for example, you fail the final exam, you're not allowed to retake it unless you have an emergency situation. So if you know that you failed the exam, you might be tempted to beg me to let you retake it. I'm not allowed to let you retake it. Okay. So I don't release that exam. The other thing that I usually don't complete is the final draft of the research paper. That's another thing I usually wait until after the course closes for a couple of reasons. Another one of them being it's faster for me to grade them if you are not going to be able to see them. That's just one of the reasons. There's lots of reasons that I don't care to go into right now. Even if you're failing the course, do not skip the final exam or the EOCT. It can literally be the difference between you passing and failing, especially if you're in the 60s range. If you're currently in the 60s range, that final exam, that EOCT, could literally be the difference between you passing and failing. Don't skip it. Don't skip it, okay? It could really actually help you pass. Because remember, it's 20%. It's 20%. It could be a huge difference. The biggest don't is to don't give up. And do remember that even if you are failing now, teachers work averages and calculate in exams after the course closes. You never know. Complete the rest of your work, prepare for exams, and try an extra learning opportunity or two. You could also go back and complete some of the optional assignments. Okay, there's a whole bunch of them in both the B and the AB course. There's a whole bunch of assignments that are completely optional that you don't have to complete. But when you do complete them, I usually go put 10% on your tests. Your tests. Okay, so for example, if you go in and you finish the modernism in music and art discussion, I go put 10% on your modernism test. Or if you complete the romanticism in music and art discussion, I go put 10% on your romanticism test. Okay. That's a big difference. It could make a big difference for some of you. Don't do those optional learning assignments until you're finished with your other assigned scheduled work. Okay. But when you do finish your assigned scheduled work, go ahead and do some of those optional assignments. It could help you out a lot. Finally, don't wait till the last minute for questions. Text me, email me. Okay. Remember, my preferred method of communication is texting. These days in school, I've been super busy during the school day. So if you have a question during the school day, the fastest, most efficient way to get an answer is to text me. Okay. All right, I'm not going to hold you any longer. I hope that all of you will take an advantage of an extra learning opportunity. I hope all of you take your time in preparing for your finals exams and your EOCT. I hope all of you are working hard on that research paper. If you have any questions for that research paper, be sure you let me know. It can get a little complicated, and I am happy to help out because I have taught that paper many times now. All right, you all have a great rest of your semester.